Well, thanks for joining us on Bloomberg Quint. Now, the Indian auto sale fell the most in 2019, at least ever since SIAM has been collecting data. Now, to talk more about how things are looking up in 2020, the road ahead, and what are the areas of improvement, joining me is Rajesh Menon, DG for SIAM. Sir, many thanks for joining us and speaking to Bloomberg Quint. This slowdown has surprised everyone, and there's no sign of slowing down. How are things looking up in 2020, and are you seeing any early shoots of improvement?
As the last few months in the area of passenger vehicles and also in the area of three-wheelers, we have seen what I would call trend reversal. There is still degrowth, but it's much lesser degrowth compared to what we had in the past few months. This is largely in the case of both passenger vehicles and three-wheelers. But both commercial vehicles and two-wheelers, we are continuing to see major degrowth. So that worries us even now. So passenger vehicle and three-wheelers, as I said, there are reasons for it, but there is a trend reversal happening. In the case of passenger vehicles, many new models have been introduced in the market, which have seen a very good response. The SUV segment has done much better in the past. So in fact, if you see the proportion of passenger vehicles, SUVs are much more than what has been in the past many years. So from a model perspective, you've got new interesting models which have attracted attention from consumers.
Right, and what are your expectations from the government as far as the budget is concerned now?
See, as of now, there are two things. One is, of course, we need to revive demand, especially in commercial vehicles and in two-wheeler segment, which is continuing to see major signs of degrowth. We need to revive demand. And second is there is a big challenge coming up, which is the transition to BS6, which will be effective 1st of April. So there are a couple of things which we have been making requests. So from the aspect of revival demand, we have, of course, requested government to look at coming out with a scrappage policy which is incentive based, where you incentivize consumer to buy a new vehicle against monetary incentives which can be from the government, which could be provided from the government as part of the budget. So that is one request which we have sent to the government. So you incentivize him to buy a new vehicle as against an old vehicle. Second is, we have said the government could consider doing a major program across India where the state transport undertakings could be given appropriate budgetary allocation so that they can procure buses. So that will revive and create demand in the commercial vehicle segment. That's second. And third, we have said because of the transition to BS6, there will be an increase in price.
Right.
And to neutralize that increase in price, we should look at a GST reduction for all BS6 vehicles from 28 to 18%. So these are three major suggestions we have made to the government. In addition, as far as the BS6 transition is concerned, we have made a request that the BS6 fuel, which is a very specific fuel with very low sulfur content, be provided by February itself, so that more and more products which are BS6 can be introduced in the market. So these are our key recommendations and suggestions to the government.
Right, and as for the BS6 transition, is there a concern that this slowdown can further deepen? As you said, there will be a price hike, and price hike will be in the range of 8 to 10 to 12%. Can we also see that if no measures being provided in terms of GST reduction, we can further deepening of slowdown, which we have already seen, stretch for a year now?
We'll have to see. We'll have to. These are worries. There is one element that you might see a pre-sale before the BS6 deadline comes, which is before 1st April. But there are worries that how will the transition happen and how will that impact, because the price will go up. So there will be a bit of an impact on the sales. But would that be significant enough? We'll have to wait and watch.
Right.
And we only hope that if government brings in utilizes that increase through measures like a GST reduction, it'll make sure that the demand does not get affected too much.
But those are immediate measures that we need from the government right now.
Yes.
And as far as discounting is concerned, do you think discounting will go? A couple of players have announced price hike as well, but as we go towards closer to that transition phase now, we're just a month or two away now for the full-fledged BS6. Will you expect more discounting happening?
See, I'm not. It will be company-specific and model-specific decisions, but inventory is largely under control, is what I understand from a member company. So inventory is quite well within limits. So I'm not too sure whether we'll see discounts, but yes, there could be pre-sale. Yes.
And based on conversation with the OEMs, they are well on track for that transition.
Yes. All our companies are well on track on transition. BS6 transition will happen on time.
And how can we revive? Because look at commercial vehicle and two-wheelers. Those are linked toward the way economy will move on.
So commercial vehicles is a direct link to infrastructure,
Right.
Especially trucks, which is where the maximum slowdown has been in the area of medium and heavy commercial trucks, commercial vehicle, which is largely trucks. So unless there are more and more goods to move, you won't have that much of demand for trucks. So there is a direct link to infrastructure projects. So we only hope the announcement made by the Honorable Finance Minister gets quickly. We see action on the ground. We see projects on the ground that will help in reviving the commercial vehicle sector because of especially trucks. Two-wheelers is concerned, it's a clear link to rural economy.
Right.
So if the rural demand picks up, there will be more requirement for two-wheelers, especially motorcycles in rural areas.
And what's your outlook for 2020 now?
We don't have a forecast in that sense, but we are all looking at that looking at the April 1 transition. But we are hopeful that by second and third quarter of next financial year, things will start becoming better.
But as far as the retail sales are concerned, the numbers look good there as compared to wholesales, right?
Yes. So that's a clear indicator that there is inventory correction happening. Companies are preparing for BS6 transition. So that's a clear indication that inventory is being corrected. But we'll see how the next 3 months go.
All right, Mr. Menon, many thanks for your time and speaking to Bloomberg Quint.
Thank you.